Okay, so I wanted to do a quick video on Five Below. They're reporting earnings on Wednesday, and I was just doing some research on the earnings calendar on Symbol Surfing, and I was just looking at the days this week. So I clicked on Wednesday, and as I scrolled down, I found Five Below, and I was just kind of looking at the charts, and I saw some interesting things, and I think I'd like to possibly get in on this as a pre-earnings trade or a post-earnings trade. So let's go ahead and click to the symbol. And if you're not familiar with Five Below, obviously go to their website or go to one of their stores. But they're an $11 billion large cap. They're in the consumer discretionary sector and retail discretionary industry. They've had great returns over the last 5 years and last 1 year, as well as year to date. And as I mentioned, they're reporting earnings on Wednesday. So what I'd like to do is let's go right to the 1 year chart. On Symbol Surfing, the charts are really simple, but they use just these really quality technical indicators that are in long term in nature, basically. So we have the price, of course, and then we have the 50-day and the 200-day moving averages, and then these other white vertical lines. These are the earnings dates. So what I want to show you is on these last two earnings dates, right here and here. The price was above both moving averages, and then pre-earnings it rallied into earnings. After the earnings, it did a little bit of profit taking, but it went higher. So right here, this is a great entry point for me for a trade after the earnings. And as long as the price stays above the moving averages here and just is cruising along, and then of course this next earnings, it was the same thing. It was rallied into the earnings, and actually this time it went even higher before it pulled back and just kept staying above the moving averages. So, using that kind of a methodology, the price went from like 120 all the way up to like 180 or 190. So that would be a really good trade. But what I want to focus on here is this. There's a earnings date coming up here on Wednesday, so there's no vertical line there yet. But these past two earnings dates might be kind of helpful to predict or anticipate what might happen here. So this next part, I want to show you the 6 month chart because we can kind of zoom in more and see what's going on. So this was the last earnings date, and as I mentioned, it rallied up into the earnings and then went higher, and then it kind of pulled back. And what I found is really important is the price reaction after the earnings. And you can obviously go through the earnings reports and find out what they reported. The earnings reports, come out every 3 months. It's the financial report card of the company. That's their disclosing what actually happened in the previous 3 months on a financial basis. So it's very informative. In addition, though, I believe how the market reacts to the earnings report is really informative as well. And you can see that just by looking at this chart. So this earnings, after the earnings report, it went higher. But prior to the earnings, the price was rolling above the 50-day and the 200-day moving average. And by the way, these prices here, all these prices are new highs, new highs. Now I want to get into this section right here. So I'm going to draw a couple of lines, and so bear with me here. So let's draw, this is a resistance line, and then I'm going to draw another line which is like a support line that goes along the 50-day moving average here. And what I think this is a ascending triangle. It's a chart pattern. It's a bullish chart pattern, and basically what it is the price is kind of like going up, hitting the top, and then the bottom, and then the top, going along the top, and then hitting the bottom, and then moving towards the top again. What's interesting is these highs are around the same price, but the lows are higher lows than the previous lows. So it's basically going into the price is narrowing, and what could happen in this type of chart pattern is a breakout to the upside. And that's kind of what we saw, after this earnings date here, the price went from like 155 up to 198, which is the 52-week high and all-time high. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments. Please like this video, subscribe, and if I can get 10 likes or more, I want to do a post-earnings breakdown of 5 and see how they did and the price reaction. By the way, real quick, if you buying before earnings is risky, trading is risky. And what I want to also mention real quick is if you're a little cautious about going in pre-earnings, because there can be an earnings surprise to the upside or there could be an earnings surprise to the downside. So I'm just going back to this earnings date real quick. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with waiting after 2 or 3 days after the earnings announcement and see what the price action is. And you might miss a little bit of the upside, but you'll have more of a confirmation. So I just want to throw that out there as well. Always do your own homework. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.